Alright, SqWWEadCast. This is a little different. This is going to be fun. It's Tim. It's me, your normal host and producer, director, editor, recruiter of Squad Nation. Leader of Squad Nation? Is that a thing? It is now. That's cool. This is a little different. What we're doing, what I'm doing, I'm the only one right now, is a little preview of a wrestling spin-off of SqWWEadCast. It's something I've talked to SqWWEO about, and also Ryan, the comedian. He was on that one episode when we watched WrestleMania about comedy. It was the episode with two Ryans, if you guys remember. We want to do a little wrestling spinoff. So we have SqWWEadCast, we have Sports Squad, which is on hiatus right now. We've had times where we wanted to do it, and then last second audible, we've just done SqWWEadCast instead. So that's still a thing, just hasn't been a thing in a while, but it's still there. This is about a wrestling spinoff, like I said, and this is going to be predictions, but we have ideas for other videos as well. So let us know. We're audio and then video. Probably on the new year. I think the new year is a good time to start. For wrestling fans, it's the Royal Rumble, and I think we'll probably start like 2 weeks before the Royal Rumble and see where it goes. We have ideas to watch the pay-per-views or network specials, whatever they're called nowadays, with some people. We get to see reactions. We have some fantasy booking ideas we want to do too. So we got some stuff planned. It's there. We just need to do it. The biggest thing is, we're not going to do news unless it's something extremely huge. Reason for that is that there's a lot of news sources already. There's Dave Meltzer and What Culture and Cultaholic and numerous other wrestling channels that just report the news. We're not going to do that unless it's something really big. What we're going to do is more of a discussion-based, kind of discuss Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and do, like I said, fantasy bookings, watch pay-per-views, predictions, stuff like that. So definitely keep an eye out for that. This episode is kind of like a soft opening. What I'm doing, I should say, is a prediction for TakeOver War Games Part 2, Electric Boogaloo Part 2 War Games, and also Survivor Series. It's just me. I tried to get SqWWEO and Ryan, but this was kind of a last minute thing. So, and I've been kind of on it, not to hate on SqWWEO or Ryan, but they have lives. They have work schedules, and it's hard for them to sometimes keep up. It's hard for me to sometimes keep up. But I do try to make an effort to watch things as they happen, so I'm in the loop. I hate not watching it because so much happens that I'm behind even after a day. So this is it. This is a prediction. This is my prediction, what I think is going to happen. This should be released this Saturday before War Games 2. So probably in the mid-afternoon before it happens. So I got the card in front of me. It's a short card. It's only 4 matches. I mean, one of them being War Games. Obviously, that's going to take up a bunch of time. I think the last one ran like almost 45 minutes. So that's going to take 2 out of 3 falls mats also. So we'll see what happens. First card, according to, is Aleister Black versus Johnny Gargano. I used to think it was Gargano, but then I heard him say Gargano, so now it's Gargano to me. That's a rule of thumb. I always go by how someone says their own name, even if it's a character name. So Johnny Gargano, that's just my rule of thumb. I think this one's a tough one. I started with like probably the toughest one to do, but I think Black wins. I think because he only has the one singles loss, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Comment section, all 3 of you. But yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he only has the one, not counting house shows, but the one singles loss. I think he lost in a fatal 4-way sometime last year, but one singles loss, and that was controversial. That was when Ciampa won the title due to Gargano's accidental interference. I like Gargano's kind of like I'm in the right, but everybody thinks I'm wrong heel turn. Like, Ciampa just knows he's a jackass and full of himself, and he embraces that. Gargano is still kind of in denial. But what I think is going to happen, I think Black's going to win. I think Ciampa might cause a distraction or there's probably going to be shenanigans. Maybe even Candice LeRae gets involved. I think Candice LeRae might be a dark horse in this sleeper heel turn. So I think Black's going to win. I just don't think it's smart, especially NXT. If this was WWE, the main roster, I'd just be like, yeah, whatever. But he only has the one loss, and when he was out for injury and to come back and have him lose right away, I feel like that takes away from Black. Even if he's getting called up, rumor has it that he's going to get called up soon. I don't see him losing. I think he's going to lose and then maybe a beatdown after the match. Maybe Gargano snaps. I think that's what will happen, but my official prediction is Black over Gargano. Next one is Baszler versus Sane. Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane. Women's Championship, 2 out of 3 falls. I don't think they're going to hot potato the title. That's not something NXT does. I think there's only actually been 3 total repeat champions in NXT, if I recall correctly off the top of my head. I think on the Undisputed Era, Shayna and the Ascension were 2-time, or no, the Revival. I think it was the Revival were 2-time champs. And technically Neville, little fun fact, he was a 2-time tag champ with 2 different partners. So that's my little fun NXT stat of the episode. I think they're building the 4 horsewomen. They have the 2 other horsewomen that interfered at Evolution. I think what's going to happen is Baszler's going to win. That's my official prediction. I think the way it's going to happen is the first fall is going to be because of interference. And I think the ref's going to see and kick the 2 horsewomen out. Kairi's going to get the second fall. Baszler's going to get the first fall due to interference, I should say. Let me clarify. Kairi's going to get the second fall, probably with the elbow. And then I think Baszler's just going to win with like a power move. Like she's improved a lot, and I think I don't think it'll be a cheap roll-up. I think they'll show her dominance in the first part of the match, and so she'll get the first fall. Kairi will get the second using her elbow. I think it'll be kind of a power up. I'm down 1, let me get back into it type of deal. And then I think, or you know what, I think it might be she might win with what does she do? The torpedo spear, little spear, one of the best spears in the business, because she goes through her opponent, which I like. I don't like when people just hit their opponent and then stop. Cough, cough, edge. Or also when they hit with the outside shoulder, that's weird. Batista and sometimes Reigns does it, and it looks weird. I want to see someone go through their opponent. Like, it just looks better. Anyway, the spear tangent aside, I think she's going to win with the spear and maybe win like there and then go for the elbow in the third and miss the elbow. And that's how I think it's going to be another pass out. I don't know what Baszler's other finisher is, but I think it's just going to be another pass out. You can't have Saint tap. I know it's kind of the same. They've done it the past 2 times they've met at Brooklyn and Evolution. It ended with the sleeper. I mean, Kairi reversed the sleeper at Brooklyn to the pin, and then Evolution, she just passed out. But I think this one will be able to just go for the elbow and miss, or go to elbow and reverse it into the sleeper, and she wins. I think they're going to build the 4 horsewomen. Interested to see where it goes with Rousey, but that's kind of down the road right now. I think Baszler's going to be there for a little while and probably lose it to somebody at Phoenix at the Royal Rumble takeover. I think she loses it then, and maybe surprise entrance in the Rumble, and that's how the 4 horsemen get built. But that's another episode to get into that. So Baszler for that one. Next match is Tommaso Ciampa, Tomato Champs, as Otis Dojovic refers to him, and Velveteen Dream for the championship. Ciampa retains. I think this will be the match, not counting War Games, because War Games 1, it's 4-on-4 and also insane. So it's hard to count that as match of the night. I think out of the 3 non-War Games matches, I think this will be match of the night. I think Dream puts on a show. I want to see him come out in DIY shorts or tights like he did. He came out with Black's face last War Games. He came out to, what was he wearing? The Rocky outfit, which was fantastic. Then he did the Prince Puma against Ricochet. And then Call Me Up Vince against EC3. I think DIY tights would be perfect for this. I forget what he wore in New Orleans. I actually just watched that match the other night. But I don't think it was anything like that. I mean, it was a 6-man ladder match. You can't really do mind games in that. But so I think he comes out in DIY shorts, tights. I keep saying shorts. He never wears shorts. DIY, maybe with a Johnny Failure shirt on, but that would be kind of on Ciampa side. So we'll see. But I think DIY tights. This will be a good match. I think it's going to go like 20, 25 minutes. This will be the match of the night. Ciampa retains. Again, I don't see him hot potatoing it because he won it in between Brooklyn in between Chicago and Brooklyn. Between Chicago and Brooklyn sometime in July, and that's only and then Black got injured. So I think Black's going to get his rematch in Phoenix at the TakeOver Phoenix before the Royal Rumble. So I think Ciampa retains. He's also a great champ. He knows he's full of himself. He kisses the nameplate instead of actual title. He isn't afraid to just call out people and still act cowardly, like typing @ instead of using the @ symbol on Twitter. It's great. I think Dream shows off what he's capable of. I mean, I think he hits that twisting DDT. I think he hits the Death Valley driver a few times, and then I think either when he's going for the elbow or again with the elbow, I feel like that's a weak prediction. I just think maybe he Ciampa sneakily wins. He wins because of distraction by Gargano, or Dream just gets too cocky, which is something Dream can definitely do. I love Dream. I think he might get his next title shot at the Mania TakeOver, but that's such a long way away. And also if he stays in NXT that long. But I do want to see him become champ. I think it might. I'm getting ahead of myself here. I think it'll be Ciampa, and then somehow Adam Cole gets it, but that's heel versus heel, so maybe there's a triple threat or something, and then I think Dream after Cole. Those are my next three. Little off-set prediction, but I think Cole wins the NXT Championship at some point, and then Dream wins it off of him. I think that's how it's going to go. So final is Ciampa over Dream. Again, probably Gargano will get involved somehow. We'll see. I've heard rumors about Black Velvet, which is my favorite tag team name. Black aligns himself with Dream against a heel DIY. Could be interesting. That'll be definitely a crazy dynamic. But it could work, especially NXT. I have full faith in NXT. All right, last one for TakeOver is the War Games match. This one's tough too. It's different than last year's though. It's 4-on-4, not the craziness that was 3-on-3 last year. This is 4-on-4. They're teasing tension among Ricochet and Dunn, or Dune, as Kyle O'Reilly would say, and probably Matt Riddle as well. Undisputed won last year, so I think they can afford this loss. So I'm going with Ricochet. I think Ricochet does his 630 off the top of the cage. I just think it'll end on a Ricochet in War Games is just insane. I think War Raiders also might manhandle them a little bit. It could be like Cole goes for the last shot and Dunn submits him. I doubt it though. They won't have Cole tap, but I think this is such an interesting dynamic compared to last year. Last year was just Authors of Pain and Insanity and Undisputed Era just going insane. Now this one's a little different. Dunn's a more technical wrestler. War Raiders are still kind of fresh. Ricochet is Ricochet. He'll jump over. He's going to clear a ring. I just know it. I've heard this. He's going to jump off the cage or jump or clear the ropes in the middle or do something insane. Probably all of the above. It's hard for me to say they're going to do the same spots as last year. One, because obviously different wrestlers, and two, you gotta one up it. You can't do a superplex off the top again. You gotta do a 630 off the top. You gotta do Dunn's finisher maybe in the middle or something onto a chair. I don't know how it's good. War Raiders, like we'll see what happens. We'll see. And I think it might lead to the tag teams. Undisputed has held them for a little while, and it's gotten to that point where you kind of want to see them. They had that brief stint when Bate and Seven held them, but that was kind of just let's win it in England, we lose again, and have the great match at Brooklyn. I feel like maybe the Phoenix TakeOver is when Undisputed loses. Probably the War Raiders. They're kind of building up other tag teams right now, but I think War Raiders will win it at Phoenix. So I think the win will give them a legitimate shot. If War Raiders pins like Fish or O'Reilly, and Cole can't eat the pin, he's too protected. I mean, he can. He lost the North American Championship to Ricochet, but I think it ends with I think it ends with 6:30. Ricochet pins one, and War Raiders gets their tag team match at Phoenix. So that's TakeOver predictions. I'm gonna kind of switch gears to Survivor Series. Sorry, I'm kind of googling the card, so bear with me for a second. Not Survivor Series. Although John Morrison is on Survivor this year, which is interesting. All right, I'm going to go good things. Let's see here. I'm going to start with the Cruiserweight. Buddy Murphy versus Mustafa Ali. I don't watch much of 205, mainly because it's a lot to watch in a week. You have 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown, hour of NXT. Then you have an hour of 205 Live on top of that. And I also feel like 205 Live's kind of in its own bubble. People say it's still considered main roster. Is it though? Because the mid card at NXT, I feel like is a little more exciting than what's going on in the mid card in 205 Live. There's no mid card title, so it's hard for them unless you're going for a championship. I know there's this whole TJP and Lucha House Party thing going on, and now Mike Canales is involved with Maria. Oh God, Maria, she needs her own theme back. It's hard for me to get into, but I've heard since Triple H took over, it's still a lot better. And I have been trying to watch because now it's on before NXT, so it's a nice little lead-in. I did watch the Super Showdown in Australia where Buddy Murphy won. That was a great match, and I've kind of been watching since. So I haven't been watching that long. I've seen a few matches with Ali. He's really good. Mustafa Ali, He's fantastic. So I just think, again, you don't want to hot potato the title. Cedric Alexander held it since, WrestleMania. And Neville held it for most of last year until he walked out. So it's kind of, I think it's too soon. I think Murphy's good, and I think he'll be a good heel champ to kind of push 205 Live a little further. You got the story with Cedric. You got the story, there's Tony Nese. You got Leah Rush is involved, although it seems like some people are kind of making their way to Raw with Rush and Maverick and Lucha House Party kind of going. I think eventually 205 will kind of split and not exist anymore. The Cruiserweight will still exist. I just don't know if they'll keep the show. I think some will go to SmackDown, some will go to Raw. Unpopular opinion, I just think there's too much going on in WWE right now. A little side rant. I think the WWE is too big. I think there's too much room. And I think 205 Live would be the one show I would axe if I was in charge. I think they're good. I think it's gotten a lot better. I just feel like like I said, it's its own bubble, and there's really nowhere to go. Once you win the title, then you have the title. But if you're not fighting for the title, you're just kind of fighting random rivalries for a little while. Not that you need a mid-card title to go. You could have really good rivalries without a title, but it's more of a. I'm not the biggest fan. But back to my predictions. Murphy over Ali. I think this will be a sneaky good match. I think it'll be sneaky good. I think it's going to go on in the middle of the card. Apparently it's on the main card. I would hate to see it on the pre-show because there's not much. With the 3 elimination matches, I just don't see them having a match on the pre-show. So we'll see, but again, Murphy versus Ali. Tag team champ. Sorry, I was reading the thing. It's this card doesn't have everybody on the thing. Hold on, let me check the source. Sorry, this is Man, WWE really changed their website. Probably should have prepped this beforehand, but I can always edit in post. That's how it's gonna be. Okay. Alright, I'm just gonna Google again and see if I can get the full match. Alright, here we go. Alright, cool. Alright, I'm gonna go tag team match, like I said. AOP versus Bar, Authors of Pain versus Bar. I think the Bar can afford a loss here. Again, it's main roster, so who knows what's happened. I think AOP wins. I think they're newly crowned champs, even though they only beat one person. They beat Rollins and Ambrose without Ambrose. It would be. I know it's Raw, and Raw kind of, one, has no tag team division, and two, hates them. I just think with new champs, you gotta have them win, and the Bar can afford a loss, especially AOP, especially if you're building AOP. You know, there's two huge guys. It's tough. This one's another, could go either way. I wouldn't be mad if it went either way. I think maybe Maverick distracts Big Show somehow, and the Bar gets distracted, and AOP wins in a heelish way. I think they're trying to build AOP as heels. So if you want to build them, they need to win over a credible source. Again, it's logic. Who knows with the main roster, especially Vince. But pick is AOP. I think, like I said, I think the Bar can afford the loss. They're good enough, and they've been good for a few years now. I've been watching some old Survivor Series to get in the mood. They've been together for like 2 years now, like possibly even 3 at this point. So that's crazy. All right, next match is Seth Rollins versus Nakamura. I think Nakamura wins due to Ambrose interference. I know this is kind of, they're putting Nakamura to the wayside, which sucks because he's a U.S. champ. I'm not the biggest fan of Nakamura, but that's only because I feel like WWE just killed his character before he could get going. I know he was huge in Japan, and apparently that's what was the big sign. I did watch some old NXT takeovers with him, and he put on a great show, especially him and Zayn. I just feel like they just kind of killed him before he could get started. He won the Rumble, which was cool, and then he didn't really do anything since. Turned heel at Mania, had the low blow fest with Styles, and then just won the title at Extreme Rules in like 18 seconds or something like that. So, due to a low blow. So, I think they can do more with Nakamura, and I think this is a good way to get him somewhat back on track, even if it's a Ambrose interference. I think that leads to both storylines. Like, Nakamura can claim in his broken English that he's doing in a purposeful manner. Just, sorry, I don't speak English. I just think it's a good way to say, I beat the Intercontinental Champ. I think that's a good way to kind of push him, and then also push the Ambrose Rollins feud a little longer. Maybe Ambrose interferes with a chair or a table, and the latter would be kind of hard to interfere with. You know, a chair, you just sneakily hit him. Even a table, you can like set up and distract, and Nakamura takes advantage of something, and they set up a match at TLC for the title. I think Nakamura's going to win. That's it. I'm not going to rant anymore about that match. Charlotte Flair versus Rousey. I'm going Rousey. I think what rumor has it is, I was actually leaning towards Becky Lynch for this match. I think, oops, sorry, my phone just vibrated. If you heard that, I have low battery. I think Rousey's going to win. I was leaning towards Becky Lynch, like I was saying. I was leaning because she's so hot, and maybe that it turns Rousey heel for the 4 Horsewomen angle. But now with Charlotte, I think I'm predicting like the way I would write it. It's hard because who knows with WWE anymore. I think Lynch. Here's my big prediction. I think Charlotte loses. I think Rousey wins. I think Charlotte kind of goes down this "am I good enough" phase, and then goes full heel against Lynch at TLC or even the Rumble, and she loses. I think, kind of fantasy booking here, they lose at a title match in the Rumble, and then Lynch is like the number 30 surprise entrant and faces Rousey at Mania. I think I think that's when Lynch gets her win. Ideally, I would have Lynch vacate the title because she's on top of her game right now, and I think if you go out on top and then she comes back in the Rumble, that'd be a huge pop and a huge momentum. You kind of put it on pause for a couple months, but maybe she loses at TLC and stays off TV until the Rumble, or maybe she just, who knows. But she's riding such a high wave right now. But she's not in the match. I think she might interfere and maybe distract Rousey a little bit. They're so high on Rousey, and they should be, but I don't think her first loss will be at Survivor Series, and I don't think her first loss would be, I know it's a big 4, but it's kind of like 3 out of 4, possibly even 4 out of 4 behind SummerSlam. So I don't think it's a big enough stage, and she's also hasn't even been there for a year yet. So I just think even if they lose by DQ, that would be a terrible way for Rousey to have her first loss by DQ, even though it's shady and protects her. You need her first loss to be clean. So Rousey wins that one. I already hit that one. All right, so the elimination matches. We got the SmackDown, the tag team. I was about to say SmackDown match. The tag team match. We got Usos, New Day, Sanity, Colognes, who are still alive, and the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, versus Gable and Rude, the Revival, B-Team, Ascension, and Lucha House Party. Like, how do you not go SmackDown? Just off of that, how do you not go SmackDown? I would lose Sanity and the Good Brothers. I would lose the Colognes and the Good Brothers and still take SmackDown on a 10-on-6 handicap tag match. That's Vince Russo writing right there. But just kidding. That's like somewhat actually reasonable. How do you not go SmackDown? You have Usos and New Day. Hopefully they build Sanity. Colognes are probably going to eat the first pin. Maybe Gable hits it and gets all psyched up and then eats a super kick or something from the Usos. So that'd be my pick. I've heard rumors that SmackDown's going to sweep. I don't see that happening. I think Colognes are going to take a fall, possibly even the Good Brothers too. But like you don't even have like legit tag teams. You have the Revival, who are dead, and I think they're beyond being revived. No pun intended. I think B-Team was thrown together once The Miz left, and they had that transitional tag reign. And they've been off TV until like 2 weeks ago. Ascension again murdered beyond repair. Gable and Rude, you can maybe tease a Rude heel turn, which he desperately needs. But again, a Rude Gable feud, that's gonna like end on Raw. Like that won't even last till TLC. So you could tease it a little bit and then have Rude turn heel maybe around the Rumble. But I love Chad Gable. He should have been Kurt Angle's son, not Jason Jordan. But it's just they might be the last one standing, and Gable does a little like miracle comeback or something. But in Lucha House Party just debuted on Raw like 3 weeks ago, so I don't see them doing much. Maybe some flippy shit, but I like Lucha House Party. Don't get me wrong, I think they're good. I just don't think they're Survivor Series last team standing good. Women's match. This one's going to be interesting. So I think SmackDown takes the tag elimination match. This one, with the women, we got Raw with Mickie James, Tamina, Nia Jax, Natalya, and Ruby Riott versus Carmella, Naomi, Asuka, Sonya Deville, and to be determined, because Charlotte is now facing Rousey and Becky Lynch is out, I think Sasha or Bayley, probably Sasha. I see Sasha making that move to taking over and defecting because they got screwed over on Raw this past week. And it's also an all-heel team besides Natalya, but Natalya, another unpopular opinion, I guess, is kind of just there. I don't see her making it. She's going to be there. She might be a new Mickie James, honestly. Just kind of stay around, put on decent matches here and there, but I don't see her having another title run. It's just... So, again, it's all heels. I think maybe Riott finally gets that push and she might be the last one eliminated on Raw, but I think SmackDown wins this one. And I think it's because of Sasha Banks defects and is that fifth member. I think Mandy Rose will come out. Maybe Lana or something. They might have a little thing like, who's it going to be? Da, 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 da. Maybe that'll be a pre-show match if they have a pre-show. Just kind of SmackDown women face each other for a spot or something. No, because that would contradict the surprise. But I saw on Squared Circle, r/Squared Circle, that Mandy Rose is going to come out assuming she's in, and then someone else comes out. That could be interesting too. I really think it's Sasha is going to defect and then I think it'll be her and Asuka. I think Asuka is still somewhat strong, and they need to kind of put her back on track for this year's Mania because she's going to probably face, if Becky goes to Raw and faces Rousey, like is rumored for Mania, you're going to have Asuka do something, possibly face Charlotte again, or probably Charlotte. I don't know who else you could face, maybe Alexa Bliss. But I think they need to start building Asuka. So I think it's going to be Asuka and Sasha Banks are the last two on Team SmackDown. Raw elimination match. I see it's Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, Bobby Lashley versus The Miz, Shane McMahon, Rey Mysterio, Samoa Joe, and Jeff Hardy. I've heard Shane McMahon's going to back out of this match. Might be a last-minute thing. That's a rumor, though, so I can't go off of rumors, so I'm going to go with him in the match. It doesn't really change much. I think Raw's going to take it. I think SmackDown takes 2 out of 3 elimination matches. SmackDown's winning tag team. I would put money on it. Women is all heels on Raw, so I think that's why SmackDown's going to win. With the men's elimination, I think Raw takes it. I think McIntyre and Strowman will be the last two standing. I think Finn is the only face, unless you count Braun. Braun's kind of been flip-flopping in between. Everybody still loves him, but at one point he was a heel, and now he's not. And now he's face again. But I think McIntyre is going to be pushed, possibly win the Royal Rumble. But we'll talk about that once the Royal Rumble gets here. I feel bad for Samoa Joe. I think he could be built a little better. So maybe he's the last one out for SmackDown. But I think McIntyre and Strowman are both eliminated. Strowman might get eliminated due to like Ellsworth 2 years ago, like count out or DQ. Ellsworth kind of held his foot and prevented him from getting back in. But I think, and McIntyre might be the sole survivor. I think if there is a match with one true sole survivor, not just 2 or 3 sole survivors, I think it's McIntyre. So I think that's it. Raw's going to take that one. And last one, I believe, Bryan versus Lesnar. This one's interesting. If I'm going off the law averages, I think SmackDown will end up winning more. It won't be just a 1-up like some people think. With the heel turn, let's see, I have Rousey for Raw, and I have the men, and then I have SmackDown, I have AOP. So Rousey, AOP, and the men. Then I have SmackDown. Actually, I called it pretty even. Sorry, train of thought there. That's terrible for a podcast, but it is what it is. I think Daniel Bryan wins. This is my bold prediction. I don't think he taps out Lesnar. I think he'll get him in the crossface and he just straight up powers up, he just stands up while in the crossface, Lesnar. I can't see him taking an F5 because Bryan's so small that if he takes one F5, Strowman can take 6 F5s like he did in undisclosed location in Saudi Arabia at Crown Jewel. He could do that because he's a big man. I think Bryan wins heelishly. I hate to see him do a low blow because that's what Nakamura did for all summer. I think Bryan wins. I think they're gonna, with the heel turn and the title, and apparently Bryan's been wanting this match for 6 years, and Lesnar can afford the loss. He only has one match left. He has this match and probably a match at the Royal Rumble for the title, where he's probably going to lose the title. And then he's going to go to UFC. So he can obviously afford the loss, and he's not on the streak like he was last year during the Universal title reign of 500 days or whatever it was. That he can afford the loss now. And I think I think it's heelish. Maybe Brie gets involved a little bit with Heyman. I think, suplexes and technical, and I honestly think Bryan's going to get the win here. That's my bold prediction. That would be the one, if I had serious stakes on this match, on this card. That would be the one I'm iffy about. But I think they're going to do it. I don't think they turn him heel and make him champion, especially with Styles. That happened. It wasn't like Styles was injured and had to lose the title. They just did it. So I think they're gonna go with it. I think they're gonna push Bryan as this heel, and he's gonna go, and he's gonna pull out the win. Brock won last year. I thought Styles was gonna win this year when he was originally in the match, but now it's Bryan, new WWE champ, new heel WWE champ. So I think he wins. I think he pulls it out with the knee. He won't tap him out with the lock or the heel hook, but that'd be actually pretty interesting if he locks the heel hook and works his legs for a little bit, and Lesnar can't do the F5 and he runs into a knee. He can't do the F5 and he lands awkwardly on a knee after being worked by Bryan, and Bryan just runs up and hits the knee. So, sorry if you're hearing my phone. But I think that's how it worked. I think that's my fantasy ending. Bryan works the knee all match, and Lesnar goes for the F5, and he can't support his own weight. He goes down the one knee, and Bryan hits his flying knee for the win. So that's my predictions. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about a wrestling spinoff of SqWWEad. It's happening regardless, but it'd be fun to just do more of this stuff. This one's a big weekend with TakeOver and Survivor Series, and I think we're going to do predictions for all pay-per-views. And like I said, we got shows in mind. We got ideas. We just want to do them. So let us know what you think. And sorry if I ranted a little. I'm kind of by myself, kind of thinking about things as they happen. And sorry if it was a little spotty. Sorry if I repeated myself a few too many times, but those are my predictions. Let's see what happens. I'm really excited for TakeOver. I'll be watching it a little later, though. I have plans. Maybe I can get back in time. Maybe I can sneak out and get back, but probably not. So I'll probably be watching it on about an hour delay. But still, I'll still be watching it that night, give or take. And then Survivor Series next day. So it's a big weekend. Love TakeOver weekends. So much going on. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about my predictions and what's going to happen. And yeah, I think I said that enough times now. So this has been SqWWEad Wrestling Cast, SqWWEadCast, SqWWEadCast. I don't know. We're going to think of a name. But yeah, it's been Tim. And SqWWEad out.